Shut up and sit down.
Couldn't swim, could barely run, could barely ride a bike. Just found it really encouraging. Like everyone I met through triathlon were always like, "Oh, just give it a go." And I seen people getting in and doing breaststroke. I thought, I'm actually not going to be too bad. There's nothing to be scared of. Because everyone's got to start somewhere, and wherever you start, you'll always find someone at your level.
Welcome to Grit and Passion. My name is Leszek Stemlachowski, and my mission is to assist you in achieving all your fitness goals and becoming the best version of yourself. And now, let's bring our today's guest.
Name's Richard. I'm 35 years old.
What do you do for a living?
Me, test computer software. So I spend my whole time on my backside, 8 hours a day. So
Hard.
Yeah, it's hard work.
Hard work. Now the question about the races. How many races have you done before, so far?
So far this year, I've done about 4 or 5 races this year.
Mm-hmm. And when you started, do you know, in total, like kind of how long you've been doing this for?
How long
now?
the sport? I first started trying to do some endurance sports in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I was just seriously impressed by guys that I'd met who'd done triathlons.
Yeah.
I'd quite like to have given one a go, but couldn't swim, could barely run, could barely ride a bike. But just found it really encouraging. Like everyone I met through triathlon were always like, "Oh, just give it a go, just give it a
Mm-hmm.
go." So that's how I got involved in the sport. I've gradually done more and more things since then.
Okay, next one. What's your weakest discipline? I think I know, but
Weakest discipline. Well, I'd like to say it was the swimming, but it's actually the one thing which I focus most on. I like to think I'm a good biker, but that's probably my weakest point.
okay. What do you do to get better in biking or in triathlon?
Yeah, I'd just be completely honest with myself. So you know that in order to be better at something, you've got to be prepared to focus more on it, so that I can know that swimming, nobody enjoys swimming really. Nobody enjoys it at all. But the only way you'll get better at it is if you just accept you're not great at it and just practice. And I think that's how ultimately swimming's became one of those stronger disciplines of mine instead of the others.
Fair enough. Now, tell me something about your very first race. Do you remember that one?
Very first race. Yeah. I do remember that. It was the Midlothian triathlon, so it's out in Dalkeith. It actually doesn't run anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a sprint distance. So I thought, good way to start. But I was terrified about the swim, and it was a pool swim as well.
Okay.
So it was completely controlled. You were completely safe. But I mean, 750 meters to me was like swimming the channel. It was so. I was absolutely terrified of it. But yeah, I remember getting there, and the time I had put in, I was maybe like 2 or 3 hours after the first few people had gone, and I seen people getting in and doing breaststroke and pausing for a rest and things like that. And then I thought, I'm actually not going to be too bad. There's nothing to be scared of here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and finished it, but I felt like I'd done an Ironman at the end of it. It was so difficult, but I was so pleased with myself.
That's cool. Okay, now you should probably. We talked about this before. Why did you start training?
When did I start?
And why you started? And what was the reason that you choosing to do triathlons?
Right. Well, I'd moved to Edinburgh when I was maybe 25, so maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I'd only ever played football. Hated training, but loved the sport. Loved playing. And when I got here, and I just met so many people who'd done other things, and I thought I'd like to try something new. So it was just a case of everyone that I met, I tried everything they'd done. So I'd even done things like rock climbing and things like that. But I just really enjoyed the cycling and running, because it's something I'd never really done a lot of. And gradually over the years, just entered in different events. Again, met more people and tried new things. And
there you
triathlon was a thing that I almost fell in love with. I love it.
What was your hardest race, and what did you learn from it?
Hardest race by far has been the Loch Lomond swim run. So again, I was
Was it
at
this
the
year,
time.
or-
It was no, I've done it twice now. So this year was the second year I did it, and the first year I did it was two years ago. It's the inaugural one that they did. That was the first time I did it. And the reason I did it was I was trying to raise money for charity. But
Okay.
people have this impression of me, they think, oh, you're this super fit triathlete, and so I wanted to do something that people knew that I was having doubts about myself. So I always had doubts about my swim. So I had to swim between 8 and 10 kilometres, which is far. So people seen how hard I was trying to train for it, and people I was speaking to, they got a sense for the amount of doubt that I had that I was actually going to finish it. So that by far was the toughest event I ever had to do. Like, more than physically, it was mentally as well. You had to overcome the doubts that I had in my own head as well about it, because physically I prepared so well for it. I was swimming 5, sometimes 6 times a week.
Wow.
And anywhere between sort of 2 to 4 kilometres a
On
day.
each session?
Like, yeah. So I mean, it was almost like panic training right from the very start.
It sounds like.
Yeah, so I would like run to the pool, I'd swim. Any time I was running, I'd try and swim as well.
Imagine your ideal race. Yeah, and describe it.
Describe an ideal race. Up until this year, I would have said it had to be sunny, but I found out the hard way I don't deal with the heat very well. So I'd say it would it would have to be average temperatures.
Things like that,
Definitely.
like things like Keltman would be something you would be interested in.
Do you know
or-
what? If I was going to do an Ironman, I would like to do Keltman. I've actually supported a friend at it and been a support runner for them.
Okay.
And the main thing about that is the atmosphere around the event. Like, the event organisers create a great atmosphere. The people who are all taking part in it, they've all got. I think everyone's always racked with doubt, and not just the athletes, because of like the cold waters and the wind they'll experience on the bike, and the fact you've got to run over a mountain, but also the people that are supporting as well. They feel the pressure to make sure that they meet at the right places and that they do the handoffs well and they get the nutrition right for them. So everybody's a lot chattier and exchanging like stories and things like that. So the
And
Keltman,
it's smaller, isn't it, than the Ironman?
Yeah, and I mean, everybody you speak to in it, there's no egos either. I've never come across anyone with like a big ego or anything, and they're all willing to chat and things like that. So yeah, Keltman would definitely be that.
And then there's another two, isn't it? It's Norseman and the Swissman.
Yeah,
so
they've expanded it now as well, because I think they've got North America as well.
Okay.
So you have Alaska Man, Canada Man, and I think there's one other as well.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But I think I was about to do this next year, but I
Yep.
think I will decide. We kind of decided with my coach to do a little bit faster Ironman again, and
Yep.
then go as a support this year for Keltman, and maybe next year I will.
Yeah,
rest,
no,
so.
I'd say go for it. It's great. It's good fun. The guy that won Keltman this year, he went to Canada Man 2 weeks after and won that as well.
2 weeks after.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks after and won it as well. So
Okay.
we have the same coach, so I'm expecting miracles next year.
Is it Maka? Yeah, you are with you are coached by Maka
No.
no.
My coach is a guy from Lanark called Alan Cardwell.
Okay.
Really good guy. Very.
So how you get on with the guys from the Maka team?
Brilliant. When I met them this weekend, it was as if we had known each other for years. As soon as they seen me, they hadn't never met me before, and they just seen me and went, "Hi, Richard, how are you?" Shook my hand, and then started talking as if we had known each other for years. Great bunch of people. Such a great laugh. So if you ever get to meet any of them, go for it.
Oh, I already met you. Right. Now, what's your motivation for training?
I always want to do better. Like, whenever I do a race, don't care about anyone else that's doing it. I always want to better what I've done before. And in my head, I like to think that I'm going to place and I'm going to do well. But as soon as I start racing, that goes completely out the window. And I want to see what my physical capabilities are. I've always done stuff, and I've thought survival. That's the main thing. I want to get to the end of this. But the more I go on, the more I think, I'd actually like to see just how fast I could go. It's amazing how your mindset can change. How you get a little bit fitter, and you get closer to people, and you think, yeah, well, maybe I could go a little bit quicker. So that's my motivation these days, but hasn't always been that way. So,
But it's really small steps, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
There's always the first one is the first race, and
Yep.
then the second, and then suddenly you are getting
Yep.
much more competitive, even with not others, but with yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you've got an ego, it's a perfect sport for to put your ego in check.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I know, and you'll always make a mistake in your first race, and guaranteed that first mistake will be going hard.
And you will remember this.
Yep. You've always got to try and manage yourself, but.
I think you already managed to answer this one, but is there any advice you would give to new guys, the guys who would like to just start the training or
I would say first of all, don't be scared, because everyone's been in your position. Definitely surround yourself by like-minded people. I'd say join a club, because you go to a club and there'll always be people who are at your level. So get in there, get speaking to people, and everyone will be willing to talk to you. Everyone will be willing to give you advice, and don't go off too hard when you eventually get to race.
What's next for you?
For me, well, I've just had a few weeks off from training, so I'm going to get back into that. And
It feels good, isn't it?
oh, do you know what? I've found out that I excel at doing nothing. I'm fantastic at it. So yeah, but next for me, I'll be the Bow Hill duathlons, the off-road ones, and then next year I'll be looking to do more cross triathlon. And again,
Was it the Xterra you've been doing
yes,
this year?
I did Xterra Switzerland. This year I didn't actually do a lot of racing, so this year I would like to do a little bit more racing, because I felt like I did lots and lots of training, but I didn't really get to put it into practice as much as I would like. So that's the plan for next year, is to do a little bit more racing than I did this year.
And the last question,
Yep.
Is there anything else I didn't ask you would like to add? I don't know, about anything.
No, I'd just like to almost like expand on like people who are looking to get into sport. Don't compare yourself to the top people. Don't take a look at someone like a Brownlee or a Jan Frodeno or whatever sport you get in. Don't compare yourself to the top people, because everyone's got to start somewhere, and wherever you start, you'll always find someone at your level.
That's gold.
And
I think, yeah.
and you'll always find that they'll be willing to speak to you, and the more you speak to people, the more you'll gain in confidence. You realise you're not alone. So just don't be afraid. Go for it.
Awesome. Right. I think we're done here. Thank you very much for your time, and
No, it's all right.
great answers.
Yeah, cool.
See you on the track at one point,
Yeah, sure.
or not on the track, maybe on the road.
Well, I might race against you if I see you. I might get competitive.
Let's do it. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.